Hey everyone, welcome to my channel. Thanks for stopping by. So I have my stuff pinned down and I gave all you guys the antique laces that I used for this, so I had to scramble and see what I had of my own. So I had a few thoughts here, and this is the first time I've ever worked with very antique, and I really don't want to mess it up. I'm also having a lot of trouble with my arthritis, and I have this trigger finger. So hand stitching has been kind of a challenge for me. So I'm going to use my sewing machine, and I have a new sewing machine that I have no idea how to use. It's a Baby Lock, brilliant, and it has a million different stitches. And believe it or not, some of the stitches actually resemble hand stitching. So here's what I ran up against, and I'm going to show you my final design here. As I was hand stitching the few pieces down here, let me zoom in a little. I noticed because this is so old, this eyelet, it started to shred on me and fray. So my thought is try to find in my stash, and it probably doesn't have to be antique. I can make it look antique. See, a lot of the things that we do and have, we can make look antique. So what I thought of maybe running a ribbon down on both sides, but I might glue it just because I don't want it fraying. I also have to see how this sews on the way it is, because I'm not quite sure if it'll work. The other thing, oops, let me move this down so it's in the frame. There we go. The other thing is I was hoping to do some flowers on here. But what I'm going to do is I have plenty of videos with hand stitching. I'm actually going to post them so you guys can see them. And I do have other needle keep tutorials. So if you guys really want to move ahead, go ahead and look for needle keeps. Right now, I'm working on doing this. I'm working on a DT project. I'm working on getting the antique kits out. So I'm like all over the place. And unfortunately, I tried to stitch and I just can't. So I'm going to zoom it through my sewing machine, and then I'll come back and show you how it looks. So this was my idea. I don't like rough looking things like this just stopping. And I thought of running the whole same piece across, but I didn't. I want it to be different. So my thoughts were adding a doily and then maybe one of the little antique buttons in the center. So then when you close it, and this is what you have to keep in mind when you're doing your projects, what you want it to look like when it's closed. So then when it's closed, it's going to look something like this, which I think is really cute. The other thing too is some of these pieces, and the one that I have, my smaller one, I'm missing a lot of spots. So, you know what, guys? You can use anything to fill them. You can use, be creative. The pieces I gave you, you can use. The thing I did also notice is the super fine antique lace. It really did not hold down well, and I'm very afraid to sew it on here. So what I think we're going to do is we're going to incorporate it inside the needle capes somehow. So I'm doing this along with you guys and kind of learning as I go. And the other thing I'm going to do is I'm going to zigzag around here just to close it off a little bit. Also, I keep remembering these things. I had people message me and say, look, I'm not a good slow stitcher. You're not supposed to be good. This is not supposed to be a good or bad thing. It's supposed to be relaxing. So don't worry about it. Just have fun with it and make it your relaxation. As you learn, the more you do, the better you'll get at it. And practice. Practice makes perfect on anything. So over here, I took a piece of lace and just cut it just to give it a little bit of something. I'm going to just leave this plain, because I really like the stitching, and I put something sheer over it. I just didn't like the look. And then this is a piece of doily that I cut off somewhere along the lines. And it's funny because they say when you use everything, you can use everything. Look at that. Isn't that cool? And I'm okay with this being the way it is and not having anything on it. But I kind of like that. It gave it a little bit of added touch. And, you know, some of the things you could do too if you really wanted to. Whoops, I'm hitting this camera again. You could add some of your lace on the bottom. And again, it does not have to be antique. You could add more modern. So I'll be right back after I stitch this a little bit. I machine stitch. And can I tell you something? I think using the zigzag, let me just zoom in, it might be easier. I think using the zigzag is going to save these edges from fraying. And you really can't even tell that I zigzagged it on. And I, out of all honesty, I do feel if you have a sewing machine, that might be the best method to keep these pieces on, because they are so old and fragile that I think they may rip. So if you have a sewing machine, great. If you don't sweat it. You're probably used to hand stitching anyways. So now I need to, whoops, I gotta cut that. So now I need to figure out which side I want, as my front. I think I kind of planned on this, and I'll have this even on here, and I might even machine stitch this. My machine, I love my new machine. Well, it's not that new, but it's new enough because I don't use it as often as I should. So I really like that quite a bit, but that's also cute too. But I kind of like, I mean, I could always add something to the front here to cover this corner. And I still might add one. I have another one that I pulled out that might look really good there, just to give it a little more, I don't know, depth of it, because these silks are really, actually, they're in pretty good shape. I think, let me go grab it and I'll show you. I have three different ones, and this one is too close to this one. So I don't want to use the same one. And I have this one and this one. So let's see how that would look on the back of that. I think it needs something. Where did I even put it? Now I can't remember. That's on, oh, right here, I think. That's not too bad. You know, this one, I don't know. I like the shape to do things with, but I'm not crazy about that. Let me see. I've got a bunch. I have so many of these little ones sitting around. Let's see what I can pull out. That's kind of a cool one, but I think it's too big. I don't really want to take away from those stitches. And what I could always, yeah, see, this is that. What I could always do if I found a little one that I liked, I could coffee dye it. That one's not too bad if I coffee dyed it. And here's another even smaller one that I could put on. Let's see. They're all pretty. They're all white. There's a real itty bitty one. That actually is kind of cute. And it just kind of covers that. There's an open spot right there. I have two of them, but I'm going to still continue to look. I have this one that has a flower in the center. It's too big. I need something rather small to fit there. And that's not even really covering that like I wanted it to. I'm going to keep looking, and I'll be back. So, guys, I found something, and I believe it is antique. It's just a little flower that came off of something. And I just think it kind of pulls everything together. While I'm here, I was digging in my drawer. My other thing is going to be to totally regroup and organize my craft room. And I have a bunch of stuff that I don't use that I'll probably end up putting on here for you guys. And I wanted to ask you too while I'm on here, would you prefer me to open like a website or an Etsy page and just put things up at my leisure for you guys to buy? Or are you okay with how I'm doing it here? I'm still not sure what I want to do. Also, I thought I was completely sold out of my antique kits. I have only one more left. So if you want it, you pop me an email or a message. I'll put my email up in the corner. These are two needle keeps, little ones that I did a while back. And I'm actually going to sell these if anybody's interested. Just send me a message on which one you're interested in. These are glued. They are not sewn, with the exception of, I think, a few pieces. This is sewn around, but these pieces are glued on here. But I want to show you the small one. So in here, I had something in this piece of felt. I don't know where my scissors are. I put the scissors in so the piece doesn't, the shop part doesn't go through and ruin the bottom of this. But I they might even have one more kit left. I have to look. But I had these little ones that I did, and they're so sweet because they're great for your pocket. And this isn't, it's not antique, or I mean, it might be vintage, but I did, this is a little bit sturdier than the fabric that we're using, because that green fabric is pretty thin. And then I have this one that's a little bit larger that I made. This one's sweet. I love it. This would be a nice, actually, wedding gift or shower gift to give somebody. Because the girls today, I find, they don't have, you know, your basic hand supplies if they lose a button or whatever. But this is the other one inside. And there's a pocket here as well. And I am going to be selling these. This is to put your needles in. And I didn't really finish these, but you just put needles in. If you could put something on the top if you really wanted to. These I put so you could put some threads through it. So this is a very basic one. And this is a belly band. You can put your floss through whatever you want. And then here's another pocket. Oh, look. And this does come with these scissors. And the other one, too, comes with a pair of scissors. That's a little area to keep your scissors in. And I'm going to show you guys how to make those. And then another little pocket. So they're a lot of fun to make. If anybody's interested in either one of them, just pop me a message and these will be for sale. Until the next video, I'm going to tack this down and, whoops, the other thing down and get things rolling. And I'm going to figure out our next step, which will be this green piece. And we're going to have to cut it down to the size we need. It's such a pretty feeling fabric. And we're going to have a pocket. We're going to put a pocket on it using that, one of the things I gave you in your kit. Napkins or whatever. Or you could use a doily. So you're going to be creative. And we're going to add a pocket to our needle keep next. Thanks for watching and have a great day. Bye-bye for now.